Al was a very wealthy Chinese man who had an obsession with owning maids. He exploited the power dynamic that existed between him and the maids, often making them perform sexual favors for him or else face being fired. One day, he requested that a maid named Jing unbutton her shirt for him. She seemed ready to comply until she suddenly slapped him in the face and stormed out of the room. Al was surprised and somewhat angry at first, but he soon realized that he liked her anger and the power she seemed to possess in that moment. As their relationship grew, Al was able to see Jing for who she truly was, a strong, independent woman who was not afraid to stand up for herself. He was no longer able to exploit her or the other maids, and he realized that he had been treating them unfairly all along. Al began to appreciate Jing's strength and power, and he let her wear the pants in the relationship. He was happy to be submissive to her, and he loved how she was able to put him in his place and make him realize that he had been treating the other maids badly. Al let the other maids go with a hefty sum of money, and he and Jing were able to build a happy and fulfilling life together. They enjoyed each other's company and supported each other in everything they did. In the end, Al was able to overcome his obsession with owning maids and was able to find true love and happiness with Jing. He was grateful for her strength and independence, and he was happy to be with a woman who was able to put him in his place and make him a better person. He was able to live a happy and fulfilling life with Jing, and they were able to enjoy many happy years together. As Al sat on his luxurious leather couch in his high-rise apartment in Shanghai, he couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. He was a successful businessman, and he had built up a vast fortune through his hard work and determination. He had everything he could ever want, and yet, something was missing. That's when his friend Jack came into his life. Jack was a loud, brash, and bold man who was everything Al wasn't. He was confident, daring, and always seemed to be the life of the party. Al was drawn to Jack's charisma and charm, and soon they became inseparable. It was Jack who first suggested that they should go to America and rob some people. At first, Al was shocked and horrified at the idea. He had never done anything illegal in his life, and the thought of committing a crime was foreign to him. But Jack was persuasive, and he convinced Al that it would be a thrilling adventure, and a great way to test their strength and courage. So Al agreed to go along with the plan, but deep down, he knew that he didn't actually want to go through with it. He was afraid of what might happen if they got caught, and he didn't want to hurt anyone. But he didn't want to appear weak in front of Jack, so he kept quiet and pretended to be excited about the idea. As the days passed, Al grew more and more uneasy about the plan. He tried to convince himself that it was just a silly game, and that they wouldn't actually go through with it. But as the day of their departure grew closer, he knew that he had to tell Jack the truth. He didn't want to go through with the plan, and he didn't want to be a part of something that could end up getting them both in serious trouble. So Al sat down with Jack and explained his feelings. At first, Jack was angry and disappointed, but as they talked, he began to understand where Al was coming from. They realized that they were good friends, and that they didn't need to do something illegal to prove their strength and courage. They decided to cancel their plans and instead focus on their friendship and their businesses. As time went on, Al found himself growing closer to a young woman named Samantha. She was a plump, black woman who he had met on a Discord server, and they had quickly developed a strong connection. They spent hours talking to each other every day, and Al found himself falling for her. She was kind, funny, and smart, and she made him feel happy and alive. Despite the fact that they had never met in person, Al knew he wanted to be with Samantha. He was nervous about showing her his face, as he was self-conscious about his appearance, but with her encouragement, he finally built up the courage to do it. When he finally showed her his face, she was even more beautiful than he had imagined, and they both knew that they were meant to be together. In the end, Al realized that honesty and friendship were the most important things in life. He didn't need to rob people to prove his strength and courage, and he didn't need to hide behind a mask to be with the woman he loved. He was happy and content, and he knew that he had found true happiness.